This past week had me on the edge. It did not go as planned, and honestly, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
I'm a 31-year-old girly who's burnout and feeling very lost. And I am on a journey to become the most happiest and healthiest version of myself. And that starts with this 75-day series. I've given myself 75 days to combat this super brain foggy identity life crisis sort of feeling I'm having right now. And I'm documenting so to hopefully maybe there's other people out there who are struggling too and just want to try and help people get through it and show people that they're not alone. This episode is going through week 2 of the challenge. And if you missed last week, don't worry. It is hanging out there in the 3 videos that I now have posted. So if you feel like checking it out and getting a little bit of backstory, feel free to do so. This past week was definitely difficult. I got really, really sick last Saturday. I woke up the morning, I had a 10K race, and I woke up the morning feeling a little funny. And then during the race, I was like, this is weird. This is the hardest race I've ever ran. It's 10K. I do them all the time. As of recent, I'm a kind of a medal collector. Then at the end, I was like, dude, I am done. We need to go. And they had an ice cream truck. And I said, no to ice cream. Like, that's how you know I was sick. And from the end of the race, once I got home until Tuesday morning, I was down for the count. There was like no way. I swear I lost the idea of I forgot the concept of space, time, life. I didn't even realize I was on the same planet, honestly. And I was able to stick to my habits that Saturday. The next 2 days, Sunday and Monday, no. I took all the time to sleep. I slept for so long, which oddly enough actually shows that I'm taking my health, my self-care and self-love more serious, because I'm typically a person who would just work through it. I could have a fever and be in the gym knocking it out, and that's just not what my body needs. So I think that's a W in listening to my body. And it was really tough for me to not get caught up in the negative self-talk. I very much so was beating myself up that I did not commit to the habits for 2 days, and I essentially had to take 2 days off. But it was just a reminder that life happens, it's not perfect, and that this 75-day series is a project. And that's also why I changed the name from challenge to project, because it's me trying to build something sustainable. I'm trying to build something. I'm not trying to accomplish a crazy strict challenge. I'm not trying to be strict with my life with this challenge. I'm trying to be sustainable and something I can build a lifestyle out of. Building something sustainable is going to take trial and error, wins and losses. There's going to be sick days. Don't want to start over. I want to just keep in the forefront my vision and who I want to be at the end of these 75 days, and put that forth in every day. And on those days that I was sick, I very much needed to let my body recover and put my health in a serious position where I have not recently, not before. So yeah, over the span of those 2 days, I slept forever, and I binge watched a lot of superhero movies, which, by the way, Uncle Ben will always break my heart. That scene crushes me. I don't care. It will always crush me. I know it's coming. I know what happens. I know the story, but it will just always crush me. So I took those days off to rest and recover, but also do a little bit of self-reflecting. I feel like I was reborn, honestly. I feel like I came out of this sickness. I feel like that fever melted whatever it was before this, because I have different energy, and I know that there's some sort of psychology behind the reason why that I always want to be productive, be busy. I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything if I'm just relaxing and hanging out watching a movie, which is something to pack along the road. That weekend, it changed me. It changed me, I swear. As soon as I felt good enough, I got right back to it. That Tuesday morning, I was up at 6 a.m. doing my morning routine. It seemed a little like rough. Didn't necessarily seem like I lost progress, but it was kind of difficult getting back up. Woke up at 6 a.m., did my morning routine, and now onto the third habit. We're going to be diving into habit 3 and 4 during today's episode. So for habit 3, it is exercising daily, at least 45 minutes, and that can look at like walking, running, lifting, all those sort of things. Again, I'm starting out with smaller tasks, more vague, and then trying to really lock into different areas of my life where I can possibly level it up even more. All right, so if you enjoy the science, let me know. If anybody wants to put in the feedback, I'm all for constructive criticism. So if you dig the science, want more of it, let me know. If I'm rambling too much, let me know too. But I am really digging and getting into the research and reasoning behind the things that I'm implementing into my life. I feel like I'm back in college. Fun fact, I actually really enjoyed researching and writing essays. So this is kind of just letting me do that in my free time, like a freaking nerd. I kind of wanted to dive into, when it came to making this habit, why I chose 45 minutes and why I even wanted to incorporate exercise as my daily habit. So if you go into the American Heart Association, they give you a recommended guideline of what exercise, what sort of physical activity is going to help you improve, you guessed it, quality of life. Again, I'm going to say it every video. I'm probably going to say it before I get into the science stuff every time. If you want a fact check, sources are in the description. And again, I'm not your doctor, nor am I a doctor at all. I'm just a girly who loves science, loves researching, loves reasoning, all that stuff. All right, so with the American Heart Association, they say that 150 minutes a week is ideal for improving the quality of your life and reducing things like dementia, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, some cancers. It also helps lower your blood pressure, improve your quality of sleep, cognition, bone health, all that stuff, okay? 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise, or they say 75 minutes of more vigorous exercise. So moderate is more like a cycling, a brisk walk, swimming, something more lower impact, whereas intense would be powerful, very fast, sprints, box jumps, stuff like that. And then they also recommend about 2 to 3 days a week of strength training. Strength training is very important for your bone health. In the beginning of this YouTube series, I'm going to figure out how I want to do, what kind of content I want to get out with. So I think just like short and sweet will help. Unless you want more elaborate things, I could make more videos of just science breakdowns if we wanted to, because I do like science and I could talk about it for hours. To figure out what is moderate intensity or high intensity for yourself, it's going to be based on your heart rate. The very, very basics of figuring out your heart rate is if you take your 2 fingers, my favorite place is to put it here in your pulse, and you should feel a little boom, 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 very lightly. You don't gotta like jab yourself in the neck. Oh, and make sure you don't use your thumb because your thumb has a pulse. And you count the beats for 60 seconds, or you count the beats for 36 seconds and times it by 2. But for 15 seconds, you times it by 4. So that's how you find your heart rate. Now, to calculate your max heart rate, you're going to take your age from 220. So you're going to take 220 and subtract your age, and that's your max heart rate. And then to figure out what intensity levels, they say for moderate intensity, it's like 50 to 70%. So then you would just take the 220 minus your age, that's your max heart rate. You would just multiply it by the decimal of that, and that's how you get your percentage. I have been very active majority of my life. I was raised in the gym, dude. Like, my mom would take me to the gym when she was at the gym, and they had a daycare, and then when I got old enough, I left the daycare and I was in the gym with her. Like, I've been in the gym since before 10 years old. So I've been consistently reaching my 45 minutes a day. I feel like I am lucky to have a job that makes me walk all the time and is very physically active. I really enjoy a good run, but I've been trying to incorporate more low impact exercises and really hone in on recovery and resting and mobility. I have been doing more cycling and more walking, incline walking. I like to walk on an incline. It's like 10% for like a 2.5. Gets a good sweat, doesn't raise my heart rate too much, and I feel like I still got a good workout in. Even though any sort of physical activity is a good workout. I need to get back into weightlifting, but I've just not done it like I should. But I have really been loving my midday walks. I like to go for a walk on my lunch breaks for at least 20 minutes with a good podcast and my matcha. Oh, what a good reset. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I will get back into running. Crazy dream of completing an Ironman one day. So I will get back into that more high intensity exercises. But I feel like during this phase of my life, during this series, I really need to focus on the rest and recovery and stuff that I'm not very educated on, so that when it comes into that really high intensity, long duration training, I know how to recover and perform the best during so is how my wheels turn. So we're going to get into zone 2 training, anaerobic versus aerobic exercises. I'm also running very behind when it comes to recording. I'm not trying to rush things or speed things up. If you guys are over on my live stream on Twitch, you guys kind of saw what happened. I'm having camera issues, mic issues, audio issues, and I just kind of fell behind when it came to recording. I really don't mind using this setup to stream, but I just wanted a different aesthetic. Okay? I wanted a little different aesthetic for this YouTube channel. It's just not working right now. So we're doing with what we got. So I'm a little behind. Eventually, things will run smoother and the videos will be smoother, and I will have super cool graphics and good explanations and details. And again, I don't want this to be a lecture, so I'm probably going to spit out some words and I'm probably going to blow through this. And trust me, I'm more than welcome to answer questions in the comments. I love the research part of it. Okay. I'm more than welcome to answer questions. Glycolysis, which is the way that the body uses glucose to produce energy. Diving into that a little more, you've got the anaerobic versus aerobic, which is in relation to cardiorespiratory wellness, fitness. And so with anaerobic, so that's thinking without oxygen. Anaerobic is very more the high intensity exercises. It utilizes more of your carb sources, more of that glucose instead of fat. So anaerobic is, you think, strength. It thickens the walls of your heart in a good way to make it your heart more stronger. And then there's aerobic exercise, which is with oxygen. It's more of your moderate intensity exercises where you're not taxing as much, so it allows the O2 production to keep up with how it is being expended. It also, instead of thickening the walls, it enlarges the chambers within the heart so that produces more efficient blood flow, as to why you recover faster and better with aerobic exercise. Another thing with aerobic exercise is that it uses the fat cells opposed to the carbs in our body. So it's better for fat burning. Anaerobic strength, aerobic endurance. So both are important, both anaerobic and aerobic, but I'm really trying to hone in on that aerobic right now, really understand recovery when it comes to my exercise routine before going forward into more of an intense workout schedule. I feel like I've constantly been running, like progressive overload, super hard strength training, and then I just never take days to rest and recover. And we're learning. It's a learning process. But since I've been doing the 45 minutes a day easily, and I feel like it's not really challenging me anymore, I am going to add on another stipulation in this habit where I aim for 10K steps a day. In the long run, my goal is weight loss, and I know more calories burned than calories consumed will help me with gradual weight loss. All right, and now the fourth habit that I've been getting into is reading 10 pages of a non-fictional book every day. And I've really been liking incorporating that into my bedtime routine. Something about when I sit down on my little comfy chair with my little tea, it it really just puts me in that nighty night feeling. I finally finished The Mountain Is You, which is all about overcoming yourself as an obstacle, understanding that the mountain is you and there's things that you can change within yourself that will help you reach the goals that you want to achieve. I mean, a lot of self-help books seems kind of repetitive. I think of it as the perspective, and I love seeing different perspectives. Also, most people who have wrote self-help books have went through something that told them to write a book or to told them to change things in their life to achieve the goals where they are, and then they have made it out on top. So I really enjoy self-help books. It's kind of like a feeling of surrounding yourself with people and using that as inspiration, or you are who you surround yourself by, even though they have no idea who I am. It's kind of similar in my opinion. That's how my brain works. I'm like, okay, let me dive into the lives of these other people and see how they went through it. And the next book that I've been on is the Let Them theory, and it's all about, so far I've learned that it's very much about the let them and the let me theory. I don't want to get in too much into it. I will have it in the description, both books. Anything that I'm like reading, I will keep in, or if I bring it up, I'm very much a person who likes to share sources, so I'm not trying to gatekeep anything. So if those are books that interest you or you want to take a peek at, feel free to check it out. I'll have the link. Right now in this moment, I'm pretty overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed with the aspect of learning a whole new skill. And that comes with learning how to edit, learning how to adjust audio, learning about aesthetic, learning just so much of learning, and it's very new and it's very uncomfortable. It's very much a big change in my life. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling very clear. I'm listening to my body more. I'm listening to my brain more. Right now, while I'm recording this, I'm actually live streaming on a different camera. And so before I went live, me and Chat were talking about just life and talking about the series, and they just said some really kind things, and it just not me crying in the YouTube video too, but I just am so passionate about this project and so passionate about where I want to be. It's just a really good feeling finally understanding your purpose. I feel like For a long time, I've been lost. I have been constantly trying to step in the shoes of other people and be like other people and wonder why am I not like that, or why am I not cool enough, or why. I've always sat in this why me. Even though all this new change and stuff is very overwhelming, I am learning so much about myself and I'm feeling just so much clearer on vision and my purpose, and that surpasses that overwhelming feeling. It's a good overwhelming. Eventually, this will all become easier. I will not have to work multiple jobs to make it work. I will have more free time and the editing will be more smooth. But right now, it's tough. Starting out new is tough and learning skills is tough. But I believe that there is really good things at the end of this. So I'm going to keep trekking on. And although I may feel overwhelmed and some days I feel like there's no point, why am I doing this? Even if the YouTube like doesn't take off or things don't go exactly how to plan, I'm really grounding myself. I'm realizing how much I was just coasting. I was coasting in life. And this feeling, even though I'm overwhelmed with the workload, it is such a different feeling of being overwhelmed with something that you're very passionate about. Like I am very, very laser focused on the goal and the mission and the purpose, that it doesn't feel like burnout. It doesn't feel sickening. One day I'll be able to explain it better. If there is anything that I could change going forward, I still need to focus on my screen time. I'm realizing places where I'm putting too much on my plate and I'm stepping back. I really want to grow in the social media space. And so I have my YouTube, but also I am trying to upload on 2 different Instagrams and make shorts. So I actually, when it comes to Instagram, I've just been posting on one Instagram and also having it I'm not posting in the idea of being performative. I'm really trying to train my brain that I don't need the likes to have affirmation, and what is meant to be will be. And that right now my main focus is this YouTube and then also the life I've been trying to build on Twitch. So we stick to that. I consistently stream on Twitch, and then I'm going to consistently upload a video on YouTube. And then when I feel like the processes of editing and posting on YouTube is more smooth, I woke up at 6 a.m. right, and it is 2 p.m. right now as I am finishing up this recording. So I need to make that window smaller before I can add more on my plate. There is anybody else working on a habit that they want to stick to, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what else you guys are working on and what you are possibly trying to improve on, or, if you just want to yap. I'm a yapper, if you can't tell. Or, hey, let's integrate the Twitch in here. If you're into hanging out, yapping, and watching video games and me being a freaking fool on the internet, check out my Twitch. Let's yap, let's connect. I am all about just creating a space for people to have a good time and fall in love with life. So I don't think that needs to limit to just this YouTube space. I am on Twitch Thursdays through Saturday, and I'd love to have you around. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe and follow along on this journey and see where this series takes us. And stay tuned for next week's episode, where I'll be diving into habit 5 and 6, and also just an update of how life is going. I'm going to take you guys along. We're homies now, okay? It is what it is. And also, move your body if you can, while you can. See you next time. Bye.